My name is Eyerusalem Solomon. I'm the Executive Directress of TIMRAN. TIMRAN is an Ethiopian name, which means she leads. So, as the name indicates, TIMRAN is working on the political participation and leadership of women. We have been able to conduct different activities which we believe enhance the women political participation and leadership in Ethiopia. One of the activities that we have been doing is coalition building and working as a coalition member and also as the secretariat of the coalition. So let me introduce this coalition with you. It's called a Coalition for Women's Voice in the National Dialogue. When the National Dialogue Commission was established, the TIMRAN was able to organize a workshop with women-led civil society organizations to nominate women who will lead the National Dialogue Commission. We have nominated those women and we have submitted the form, which is distributed by the Parliament. Unfortunately, out of the 11 commissioners, we have only 3 women commissioners. But rather than going back to the process, we believe it's very important to influence the process, the activities of the National Dialogue Commissions. We have discussed to have an experience sharing forum for civil society organization for there to be a women inclusive national dialogue. We have organized this discussion forum in Bishoftu, one of the cities of Ethiopia. We have approached inclusive peace. They were very willing to share their experiences for civil society organizations working on women rights and human rights about gender, women inclusive national dialogue. And this experience sharing forum was conducted in Bishoftu for 2 days. It was very successful. So the outcome of that experience sharing forum was forming this coalition, which is called the Coalition for Women's Voice in the National Dialogue. By the time of its establishment, TIMRAN was selected as a secretariat of that coalition because TIMRAN is the one who engaged in facilitating women's nomination as a commissioner of the National Dialogue Commission. And TIMRAN was the first one to organize this experience sharing forum for women-led organizations and human rights organizations will be very important for TIMRAN to specifically focus on this task and so that the coalition will sustain until the end of the mandate of the National Dialogue Commission and will influence on the women inclusive process in the National Dialogue. On that day that we formed the coalition, we have come up with a position statement which was submitted to the National Dialogue Commission. On the position statement, it has 12 points. We have demanded the National Dialogue Commission to participate 50% women in every consultation forum, and also for facilitators, conveners, and even the National Dialogue Commission staff to have 50% women representation. After submitting the statement to the National Dialogue Commission, the next task was to have a strategic meeting with the coalition members. The member of the coalition who formed this coalition for women's voice in the National Dialogue was 22. When we conducted, it was formed on March, and then on April, we have organized a strategic meeting with these members. So we have invited other civil society organizations who needs to be part of this coalition. Now the number of the coalition, the members is 56 civil society organizations are members of this coalition for women's voice, the National Dialogue. So on the strategic meeting, we have discussed on how the structure of the coalition should be. And then we have selected 7 steering committees. Now we have 9 steering committees. The steering committee number is increased by 2. But on the strategic meeting day, we have selected 7 steering committees, which where some of the organizations are big, who have existence in every regions of the country. We also intentionally include regional members as a steering committee members of the coalition. And we have, on the strategic meeting, we have invited different civil society organizations situated in regions as well, so that they can be part of the coalition, so that we can reach women in the grassroots level in the regional areas as well. on the strategic meeting, we have selected this steering committee and we have discussed on how the structure of the coalition should be. There should be a general assembly, which are the members of the coalition, and then there is a steering committee, which will lead the secretariat, and then there will be a secretariat which would be responsible to implement the day-to-day activities of the coalition. So that's how we form this coalition for women with the national dialogue. The challenge was that we are new to this national dialogue. We all civil society organizations working in Ethiopia. National dialogue is a new phenomenon for us. So we were not able to know specific activities that we will conduct in relation to women inclusiveness in the national dialogue process. So it took us long steps to discuss activities, and Ethiopia is a big country. After deciding on the activities, the other challenge was forming a cluster on how we can conduct the consultation forums in regional areas. Forming a cluster took us a long time, and TIMRAN was the secretariat of that coalition. TIMRAN was new. We have about 3 or 4 staffs by that time, and it was very difficult. We have to assign one person, one staff for this activity. That staff struggled a lot to discuss with regional members and to form that structure, that cluster. And getting a budget was also very difficult for us. After getting that budget, we were able to bring other staffs who will be responsible for the national dialogue activities only. There are coalition staffs now in TIMRAN who are working the coalition-related activities. This was the challenge. We were able to come up with solutions because we have experienced coalition members who are leading organizations who stayed in the area for about 20 and above years. So, for example, we can mention NEWA, National Network of Ethiopian Women Association, EULA, Ethiopian Women Association, and Ethiopian Women Disability National Association. These were the steering committees of the coalition, fortunately, and they have experience in conducting different activities in relation to women persecution and advocacy. Their commitment to sit together and to discuss on the activities that the coalition needs to implement was one of the success factors to identify our entry points on our activities that we have to implement as a coalition. The other thing is the commitment of some donors to support this initiative. It was very important for us to sustain and to start the activities. There is terms of a donor who is very flexible. For example, the Irish, they have been supporting us for starting from the establishment of the coalition. If there are any initiations to form in a coalition, I advise to go for it because forming a coalition is very important for the voices to be heard. As I mentioned, by the time the coalition was established, we have come up with a position statement with 12 points demanding 50% inclusion of women in the national dialogue process. And the commissioners, they were very impressed by the fact that we were very organized. We know what we're doing. Our demands are very specific, which we're asking for the rights of women. So they invited us to have a discussion with them. So we were able to meet all the commissioners, the 11 commissioners, in our 2 meetings with them. And we have demanded, we had discussed the statements, the points that we raised in our position statements. They were very impressed with our ideas, and they assured us that they will work with the Coalition for Women's Voice in the National Dialogue, and also we demanded their commissions. So the fact that coming together as a coalition, forming this network, was very important for our voices to get heard and for us to be very organized. We believe we have influenced the inclusiveness of the documents of the National Dialogue Commission. So it's because of forming a coalition that we are being able to establish that. But the most important is being committed. And one more thing is that it's also very important to discuss and to get consent of other organizations like that of the Inclusive Peace who have experience in different countries in forming a coalition, in advising organizations, coalitions, and also political process like that of our national dialogue process. So it's very important to get that advice as well. So providing support to this kind of initiatives and coalitions is which I believe is very important for external actors to do. So we are able to get a technical support from the Inclusive Peace and financial supporters, which are a flexible one from Iron. We are very thankful for those organizations having this type of political having this type of political process is new for their countries, and the civil society organizations might not have exposure on the same kind of issues. So sharing experiences with different organizations, different countries who have passed through the same processes, and also sharing advices, providing financial support is very important so that the coalitions will be able to influence processes and will be able to influence or advocate for women inclusiveness in this kind of political processes. So these are the very important activities that external actors should conduct.